5, 4, 3, 2.
I know, you see, somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful.
Yeah, enough of that. Welcome to the John, and John Webb Show, where we examine the morality of major battles. Today, we will examine civil war, the bitter tale of the deepest of friends becoming the greatest of enemies. An Avengers mission in Nigeria goes wrong, and a bomb ends up killing innocent civilians. Many government leaders decide that the Avengers should be monitored for their wartime actions. They propose an accord called the Sokovia Accords, named after the city of Sokovia, which was destroyed when the Avengers fought Ultron. The Sokovia Accord states that the Avengers can no longer assemble unless the government approves of it first. Many Avengers, such as Captain America and Falcon, are in strong opposition of this accord. T'Chaka, the king of the African nation of Wakanda, is a pioneer of the Sokovia Accords and fully supports its signing. During the United Nations Committee to sign the Sokovia Accords, a bomb explodes nearby and kills many world leaders, including T'Chaka. Helmut Zemo, a husband and father whose family was killed in Sokovia, was responsible for the bombing. He disguised himself as Bucky Barnes, Captain America's best friend, in order to frame him. He blamed the Avengers for the death of his family, and his goal was to split the Avengers apart, because a house divided cannot stand. Zemo knew that by framing Bucky for the bombing, Captain America would immediately try and protect Bucky, which would force him to go against the Sokovia Accords. Zemo also knew that Bucky has keywords that, when activated, trigger him into becoming evil and enraged. Zemo's finale plan was to reveal that Bucky was the one who killed Iron Man's parents after being activated by those keywords. Applying the jus ad bellum principles, this war was completely justified in the beginning, as many world leaders sat down to find a suitable solution to the damage and casualties that result when the Avengers go into action. This was all done in a diplomatic manner. The United Nations bombing leads to a worldwide manhunt for Bucky. Captain America and the Falcon are able to track Bucky down and attempt to hide him, but they are pursued by T'Challa, the son of T'Chaka. T'Challa dons the traditional Wakandan panther garment and is trying to get revenge on Bucky for killing his father. War Machine intervenes and breaks up the fight, arresting Captain America, Falcon, Bucky, and the Black Panther. Zemo breaks into Bucky's holding cell and uses the keywords implanted into Bucky's brain to trigger a Hulk-like madness. Bucky breaks out of his cell and attacks the other Avengers, until Captain America and Falcon are able to capture him and bring him to his senses. With Bucky back to normal, Captain America and Falcon try to hide Bucky from the government, and Iron Man is sent to arrest them. Iron Man takes a team consisting of the Black Panther, the Black Widow, War Machine, Vision, and Spider-Man. Captain America calls for backup from the Avengers, who refuse to sign the Sokovia Accords, now calling themselves the Secret Avengers. This team consists of Hawkeye, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, Bucky, and Ant-Man. Bucky tells Captain America about Zemo, and Cap and his team try to steal a jet in order to find Zemo and prove Bucky's innocence. Iron Man's team intercepts Cap's team at the airport and they fight. Black Widow decides to trust that Cap and Bucky are telling the truth about Bucky being innocent, and she betrays Iron Man and gives the jet to Cap and Bucky. Team Iron Man is able to restrain the other Secret Avengers, and only Cap and Bucky were able to escape. War Machine becomes paralyzed from the waist down due to being in the way of a blast from Vision that was aimed at Falcon. After arresting the Secret Avengers, Iron Man reviews the tapes of the bombing and sees Zemo, finally coming to the realization that Bucky was innocent. Iron Man tracks Captain America and Bucky to Zemo's location, where Zemo plays a tape of Bucky killing Iron Man's parents decades ago. This enrages Iron Man, who felt betrayed that Captain America never told him about it, which leads to the heat of the battle. Using the jus in bello principles to examine this war is tough, because Iron Man committed just and unjust actions all throughout.
It leads to the final battle. Using the jus in bello principles to examine this war, it's kind of tough, because Iron Man commits just and unjust actions throughout this whole thing. He fights within the confine of the law, but he also hires a teen. He brings in this teen from New York who, again, should be worried more about girls and saving the world. He should be worried more about homework. He's in, like, calc or whatever in some movies, so he should be more worried about that. In considering that Vision paralyzed War Machine, even if he wasn't actually thinking about where his shot was going to go, instead of just doing it absent-mindedly, he probably would have hit Falcon and killed Falcon, either because of Falcon's fall or because of just hitting him directly. So it can be this war can ultimately be justified as Iron Man operating lawfully, and he only fought back when he had to because Captain America and his team fought. He didn't want to fight. They resisted arrest, so he did what he had to do to try and arrest them.
Iron Man, in a fit of burning rage, lashes out at Captain America and attempts to kill Bucky. Captain America protects his best friend, shielding him from Iron Man's wrath. Working together, Captain America and Bucky are able to destroy Stark's gauntlets and jets, confining Tony to the ground. They are then able to disable Iron Man's power source, shutting down his suit and ending the battle. Tony yells to Cap that his father, Howard, created the shield he uses, and that Cap doesn't deserve it. Realizing this truth, Captain America drops his mighty shield and gives up his name. He breaks the Secret Avengers out of prison, and sends Tony Stark a message saying that even after this terrible war between them, Steve will still be there for Tony when he needs him. Tony and Steve are able to make a partial resolution, as seen by Tony hanging up on the Secretary of State Thaddeus Ross when he was trying to recapture Steve and the other Secret Avengers. Applying the Jus Post Bellum principles, the aftermath of the Civil War was justified on both sides. Tony forgave Steve and was able to let go of his anger, while also realizing that Steve didn't tell Tony about his parents simply because he was trying to protect him. In the end, Steve and Tony both made the resolution to forgive each other and continue to fight as brothers the next time the world saw itself meeting the Avengers again.